Hi, my name is Deborah Miller, and I'm with PlumEasy Patterns, and we have a brand new pattern for a folded star pincushion. And we're going to show you how to make that in a few easy steps today. Now, we're going to start with our template. And the template is going to help make it go really fast. It shows where the triangles go to make your star. It has the miter points built in, and all you need to know is just a few easy steps, and you're going to have a pincushion in just a few minutes. So you start with a circle, and the template requires a 5-inch circle. We cut it out of fabric, we glue it down with a glue stick. We take triangles and we fold them into a square, and fold them into a prairie point. And that looks like this, where they're square, and then we fold the points. And we're going to position the points everywhere the triangle is indicated to make it look like it has a star. So we have a finished pincushion, and it looks like a little star, but we actually didn't have to piece it. We took a glue stick, and we took the glue stick and put a little dab of it on the back, and then we indicated on the template, it's indicated exactly where to put it. And you quickly put the glue on them and position them around the template. And there's your star starting to emerge from it. And when we're done with this, what we do is we top stitch it, and then we're going to trim away all this excess. So there's our little star. Now we would iron that, we would top stitch it, and then we'd go to the next step, which is we're going to turn it over. After we've top stitched it, we're going to turn it over, and we're going to turn the template back, and we're going to trim off these areas here with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Just so similar to paper piecing, we turn it back, fold it on the line, and give it a 1/4 inch, and we do that on all 4 sides. And so when we come up with that, we would get a nice clean square, and that's the top of our pincushion. Now the next step is that we take our square and we line it up with the 2 corners of the template, and we pin it in place. We do that on both sides. We pin it in place, and then we turn it over, and we stitch from dot to dot on both of those. And on the back it says line 1 and line 2, so you know where you're stitching. When you turn it back over, you just iron it, and then you're ready to do the other 2 sides. But before you do that, you need to trim that off, and that would look like this piece here, where we've trimmed these pieces so that it looks like this. Now we're going to put the other 2 pieces on for the other sides. And here's one where we've done one side, we have it pinned on, and we turn it over, and this time we sew it all the way through, not dot to dot, but all the way through, and fold it over. Then we do the same thing with this side, and what we end up with is a nice 8.5 inch or so square. And what that looks like is this. This one was pinned, but we come up with this square. Now this could be a quilt block, or it could be a pincushion, but there's a lot of uses for it. But right now we're going to make a pincushion, and so what we do is we turn it over, we square it up to 8.5 inches. We clip the template just a little bit here so that when we fold it in half, it's going to ease it in. We pin the corners so all the layers of the fabric are together, and then we fold it in half and we pin it. And now all we have to do is sew up the side, sew the miter, and do that on both sides, and it looks like this. And we've mitered them, and now you can see we have the beginning of our pincushion, and we turn them inside out, and we check them and see how they look, if our miter's correct, before we finish it. So we have both sides now mitered, and the last step on the sewing part is to close it up. Now we turn it, we take, see the pin here? We take pins, and we mark about an inch in from the middle, and we'll leave that open because that's where we'll turn it inside out. And we do the same thing here. We bring it over and we sew and then miter from there. Sew and then miter that. And this right here, when we turn it inside out, we get this. And then I sew on my button before I fill it. I look at the middle. I find my middle spot because it's on the template. Every template has a dot indicating the middle of where the button goes. I sew the button on and leave the thread out, and then I fill it. And filling it is kind of fun. I usually use a cookie sheet, but I don't have one today. I get an inexpensive funnel. I get ground walnut shells, and I fill them. Just basically, I hold them at the bottom, and I pour them in. And I kind of move my funnel around. We'll shake it. And then I stop. And it fills in very nicely. And then I take my finger and I just make sure I got all those edges filling evenly, and I do the rest. Okay, so when I finish doing this, the whole bag will fit in there. And what I do is I close up the seam. Sorry. Okay, so we fill that up. And what we have then, after we close it, is we close the back. We slip stitch the back, and then we take and we knead it, and we press all the air out of it, and we get this little dipping spot for our button to fill. And we would take our pincushion now after we've closed it up, we filled it, we push it, we take our button, and we put the button on first with the doll needle. We would just go straight through, and we come up the back, and then we would use it's a heavy thread. I think it's called with upholstery thread or something. It's a heavy duty thread, so you can pull on it and it won't hurt. So I would do my button here and go back, and I would just sew my button on, and then we would have that pincushion. That's how easy it is. Where's my button?